hear someone transferring gossip, when someone's telling you a story about someone else who's not there to defend themselves, when they're transferring gossip, what you should say is, it is not proper for me to speak of this, to listen to it or be a part of it. Subhanallah, this is a horrible thing to do. I want no part of it. This is how you're supposed to respond to gossip. This is the lesson of Surah An-Nur. I've been telling the story for 4 halaqat, right? It's a page and a half of the Quran, dedicated for us to learn one lesson. The lesson is, when people speak ill of others behind their back, gossip in general, or when it's specific, and the gossip is about the integrity or the dignity or the chastity of a woman or the chastity of a man, and they're speaking that they did something haram, then you need to be very clear, very decisive in how you're going to deal with it. I will not partake. I will not take part in this. I will not be a part of it, and I'm not going to listen to it. And if you're going to continue to talk about it, then I'm going to walk away. I'm not going to stay here and listen to you talk about these things. And that's very important. Are you going to find that hard to do in your life? Do you think it's going to be hard? Yes, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very difficult to do in your life. But it is a crucial and essential part of being a good Muslim, of understanding Islam. If you respect him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even this much, knowing what he went through for a month, as people spoke in an ill manner about his own wife, alayhi salatu wasalam, leading up to the climax of the story when the Quran was revealed to tell us that you're not allowed to do this, then if you understand that, you're not going to do it anymore. And this is this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised the Muslim community and society in Medina. He taught them lessons through practical problems happening, and then coming in and intervening at a certain point and telling them, you need to change. Everyone needs to change. And they did. And they did for a long time, they did. Now we're at the same point. We need to all make a decision. Will you continue to take part in issues like this, or will you not? Will you say, no, I'm not, I won't be a part of gossip. I will not spread gossip. I won't listen to it. I won't entertain it. I won't even sit there quietly as people gossip about others. I'm not going to be a part of it. Either you be quiet, or I leave. If you have a problem with someone, let's call that someone, bring them here and fix the problem and end this right now. And you'll find people don't want that. People just enjoy the gossip. It's just fun. When someone's not there to defend themselves, it's fun to talk about it. Right? And mock them going. We'll wait for the election.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
So what some of the lessons that we talked about last time? And all I did was I just walk you through a couple of the verses. Just as an example. So it was revealed right after the incident. Right after, and it came quite quickly in a row. Meaning after Aisha anha's verses came, or were descended on upon the Prophet ﷺ, I'm talking about the fact that she was innocent, and then teaching us the lesson that we're not supposed to gossip. The rest of the surah kind of came in a row. And the surah we saw last time, what were the issues the surah talked about? It talked about the fact that you don't enter a house without permission. Meaning if there's a closed door, you don't walk in. You knock on the door and you wait. You wait until someone allows you in. If they don't allow you in, you go home. Right? You don't invade people's privacy. You don't invade people's privacy ever. It's not okay, no matter who they are. And even if you think it's a house that no one's there, you don't invade people's privacy. The other lesson after that was lowering the gaze. Right? You read the ayah. قُلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُمْ. And everyone didn't like that. Everyone looked at me and wanted me to move on. Because it's not fun, not a fun part of listening to the Sira. But yeah, that's what it was with the Surah as well. That we're supposed to lower our gaze. We're supposed to maintain our chastity. And then after that also for the ladies, the same command. To lower their gaze and to maintain their chastity. And for them, an extra thing, with the hijab part. That men, unfortunately, don't have to do. But it's hard. And women have to do it. And it's a part of their deen. And it's difficult, but they get more ajr for it. It's a part of a system. It's a part of understanding how society works. The ayah after that talked about zawaj, marriage. وَأَنْكِحُوا الْأَيَامَ مِنْكُمْ and grant those who are at the right age, allow them to get married. Make it easy for them. Even if they're poor, إِن يَكُونُوا فُقَرَاءَ يُغْنِيهِمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant them wealth if they are poor. And then he told them, وَلْيَسْتَعْفِفِ الَّذِينَ لَا يَجِدُونَ نِكَاحًا حَتَّى يُغْنِيَهُمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. And those who are poor, looking to get married, they can't do it, then may they maintain their chastity. May they be patient and persevere until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants them wealth and they can do it, inshallah. If you keep on going with Surah An-Nur, if you have a Quran, keep on going a bit. You'll find an ayah in it, it's a long surah, it's around 10 pages. You'll find an ayah in it that the middle, وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لَيَسْتَخْلِفَنَّهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ كَمَا اسْتَخْلَفَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ وَلَيُمَكِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ دِينَهُمُ الَّذِي ارْتَضَىٰ لَهُمْ وَلَيُبَدِّلَنَّهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ خَوْفِهِمْ أَمْنًا. There's a promise in the middle of the surah that has no equivalent in the whole Quran. You will not find an ayah that is even remotely close to this one, no matter how hard you look in the whole Mus'haf. It is extremely unique. It's the middle of Surah An-Nur, in the middle of it. It's kind of amongst all these commands that you should act like this and behave like this, and the gossip is haram. You have to lower your gaze, and marriage is an important part of life, and it should be properly taken care of. In the middle of it, there's this promise where the ayah goes like this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises the believers amongst you that He will grant them true stewardship of this earth. لَيَسْتَخْلِفَنَّهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. You'll be granted true stewardship of this earth, meaning you're going to be granted power. كَمَا اسْتَخْلَفَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. Just like those before you, the believers, were granted stewardship, just like Dhul Qarnayn, and just like Dawood alayhi salam, and Sulaiman alayhi salam, and just like Musa, and just like Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you'll be granted true stewardship. وَلَيُمَكِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ دِينَهُمْ. He will grant strength to the deen that they have. Islam will be strong on the earth. It will settle. It will no longer be a visiting deen. It will be a deen that is here, with large numbers and a lot of support. وَلَيُبَدِّلَنَّهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ خَوْفِهِمْ أَمْنًا. And you will no longer be scared. And you will be granted safety and security. Why there? Why Surah An-Nur? Because this is how you may obtain it. It's through following these rulings. It's through adhering to these rules that you will obtain this promise that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is offering. Because what the ayah actually explains is exactly what every Muslim who loves his religion and loves the Muslim world would like to see. It's exactly what you're hoping for. Exactly. The ayah actually words it perfectly. So as long as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what you want, it's telling you will get it. But He inserted it in Surah An-Nur. Why? Because there's a lot of rulings here that you need to follow first. A lot of stuff that you have to be careful. You can't continue to gossip and speak ill of people, especially about their integrity. We cannot support zina. We have to support marriage. We have to lower our gaze. We cannot expose people's privacy. We can't invade people's privacy or expose them when we have the ability. We can't do it. The ayah after that, يَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا يَسْتَأْذِنكُمُ الَّذِينَ مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ لَمْ يَبْلُغُوا الْحُلُمَ مِنْكُمْ 3 مرات مِنْ قَبْلِ صَلَاةِ الْفَجْرِ وَحِينَ تَضَعُونَ ثِيَابَكُمْ مِنَ الظَّهِيرَةِ وَمِنْ بَعْدِ صَلَاةِ الْعِشَاءِ 3 عَوْرَاتٍ لَكُمْ. O those who believe, may you teach your children that they knock the door of their parents' rooms at certain times. Before Fajr, and during the nap time at Dhuhr, and after Isha. 3 awrah. These are 3 times of awrah for parents. You teach your kid. Why would I do that? What's the point of this ayah? Being a Surah An-Nur, you just talked about conquering the world, Ya Rabb. You just promised us that we will be granted stewardship and strength and security. And then you tell us, yes, this is where it begins. It begins by teaching kids, by teaching your own society, community, to have etiquette and to have adab, and to know how to behave with one another. And yes, my son, at this time when the door is closed, you knock before you walk in. Because the kids don't think twice, they think it's fine. They've lived in this house all their lives. It's their parents, you can walk in. When they were babies, they used to do it, but now you know. وَإِذَا بَلَغَ الْأَطْفَالُ مِنْكُمُ الْحُلُمَ فَلْيَسْتَأْذِنُوا كَمَا اسْتَأْذَنَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. And once they're older, and once they reach puberty, they should do istidhan all the time. They should knock on the door all the time whenever it's closed, not just those 3 times. It's very interesting. Why is this surah talking about this stuff? Because this is the etiquette, the manners of how to deal with one another within a society. At the end of Surah An-Nur, إنما المؤمنون الذين آمنوا بالله ورسوله وإذا كانوا معه على أمر جامع لم يذهبوا حتى يستأذنوه. Indeed, the true believers are the ones who are when they are with the Prophet ﷺ in large groups. It's a group meeting that they will not leave until they ask permission. And if the Prophet ﷺ allows them, they'll leave. And if they don't, you're sitting in the classroom, just walk up and stand up and walk out. I've seen it happen only here. Only in this country have I seen this happen. I'm teaching a class and some kid stands up and walks out of the room. Khair inshallah. What's going on? What are you just it's just an open access? No, it's not. That's not how things are. In groups, you always ask for permission when you enter, when you walk out. These are issues of manners, of etiquette, of just having adab. It's how you behave. It's how we're supposed to behave. We're supposed to show that level of respect to everyone around us. You understand the idea here? He's trying to teach us, you're supposed to be respectful. Respectful when you enter a room, when you walk out, when you're in a group, when you're leaving a group. When you're walking down the street and someone's walking, you lower your gaze. It's respect. Be respectful to those around you. Be aware of them. Be mindful of them. Be respectful towards them. You don't speak about someone behind their back. It's not respectful. It's not nice. I know to talk about you, you're not there. I saw something I didn't like. You're doing something wrong. It's not respectful for me to talk about it when you're not there. Maybe I should wait until you're there and ask you about it. Maybe bring it up. There's no respect. Surah An-Nur just teaches us to be respectful. In the midst of that surah, he gives this amazing promise that we sometimes don't even pay attention to in the Quran. Go back to the ayah. I don't know the numbers. I was hoping someone was opening the Quran. وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنكُمْ. It starts like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises the believers amongst you of this. Okay. You can move on to the keep on going. Yeah. Keep on going. Yeah. So here are a bunch of stuff that were taught within the end of the 5th year and throughout the beginning of the 6th year. So for around 12 months, end of the 5th year, beginning of 6th year, these are the issues that the Quran came up with. The Quran talked about all these issues. Talked about zina, hard thing to talk about. Talked about gossip. Talked about having bad assumptions. يَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اجْتَنِبُوا كَثِيرًا مِنَ الظَّنِّ إِنَّ بَعْضَ الظَّنِّ إِثْمٌ. Right? Do not have bad assumptions of people. I see someone walking down the street at a certain time, at a certain place, in a certain way. A bad assumption comes to my mind. It's Saturday night and it's downtown and he's walking down. I have a bad idea. Right? A bad idea comes to my mind, but I'm not supposed to. As a good Muslim, I'm not supposed to. I'm not saying he's probably not here for something bad. Probably not here for something bad. That's how it begins. All evil begins with a bad assumption. This is a bad assumption. And usually you have it because you assume that if you were in his position, you'd be doing the same wrong thing. So don't do that. Have good assumptions of yourself, and then have good assumptions of other people. Maybe ask them later if you're worried. But don't have bad assumptions. Don't start accusing people internally. Oh, I saw him. Oh, you don't know where I saw him. Ya Latif. I saw him walking. Yeah, 100%. No, it's not 100%. One of the Salihin used to say, لو رأيت أخا لي تخطر لحيته خمرا لقلت سكبت عليه. If I had seen a brother of mine with alcohol dripping from his beard, I would think, oh, probably someone poured it on him. I wouldn't have the assumption that they actually drank something haram. You're not supposed to. It doesn't do you any good. Having bad assumptions, what good does it do you? Nothing. It does nothing good for you. It doesn't help anyone. Actually, it helps the shaitan. That's all it does. And it fills your heart with bad ideas and bad feelings towards your brother, Muslim brother. That's all it does, or sister. Having bad assumptions doesn't help. Bad assumptions, by the way, does not apply to a parent, just so this is clear. As a parent, have bad assumptions of your kid every moment of the day. Every time you see your kid doing something, have a bad assumption, because you're a parent. You're here to raise. You're here to take care of them. That's your job. Your job is to have bad assumptions all the time. So if your dad is always accusing you of stuff, he's a good dad. Right? And you'll figure that out when you're a dad, inshallah. And if you so complain as much as you want to me or to him or to the world around you, you just have a good father, and you're lucky to have a good father. You don't know what it's like to have a bad father. A father who's not around, a father who does not care about you, doesn't think much of you, doesn't think you're worth anything, and does not have any interest in you. You don't know what that does to you. I know. I work in hospitals. I know where these people end up. Children who have fathers who don't care about them don't end up in good places, period. Children who have fathers who care about them, they may have a hard time. You may feel like he's always on my back, he's taking my phone, he's not letting you, but he loves you and he wants you to become a strong individual in your life, and good for him. I thought the same way. My father didn't let me out of the house after Maghrib until I was 17 years old. I didn't know what the world looked like after Maghrib outside the house until 17. Never allowed outside. If I was 5 minutes late after Maghrib, that was the end of my life. I knew I was going to die that night. I would not live to see the morning. Right? I didn't like it then. I didn't like it. I didn't like it then. Jazakallahu khair on me today. I say it with a full heart. With a heart full of love. I thank him, the bottom of my heart, that he did that for me. Right? And you will too one day. So don't moan too much. I'm okay, you can come and vent to me every once in a while, but don't moan too much, alright? Especially if you have kids who care about you. Don't moan too much. Bad assumptions, what I'm talking about here, are between others, between you and your friends, between you and others who are peers to you. Don't have bad assumptions in them. It doesn't do any good. Have good assumptions. Expect something good from them, because it doesn't make a difference. It shows purity in your own heart. It shows purity in your own heart. That's all it does. Having bad assumptions is the core, is the little spark that begins, that all shove begins, all evil starts between people. Have bad assumptions. Just don't do it. If someone says something that could be understood in a good way and a bad way, what are you supposed to do? You always understand it in the good way. Never understand it in the bad way. Don't even waste your time. Wallahi, you will waste so much effort and energy and time if you assume bad things from what people say. Don't do it. If there's 2 ways to understand what was said, understand it in a good way and move on. And move on. You don't have time to waste on what people said and what people did. So assumptions. Brotherhood. This is the time when إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخَوَيْكُمْ. We're brothers. When we fight, we have to, someone has to come and fix it. We have to help one another. If I know 2 people who are talking, we have to put in effort to help them make up and restore their brotherhood once again. Equality. Ending racism. Explaining that we're all the same. That in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter where you were raised or how you were raised or who you are, what your name is, what you look like. It doesn't matter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not interested in the package. The package is made of soil. Right? That's all it is. Just a soil package. Who cares what color the soil package is? It's just dirt. Astaghfirullah. All of us, that's all you're made of at the end. Once you die, you put in the earth. 6 months later, there's nothing left down there. It's taken by the earth, back to the Mother Earth again. We're all from the same earth. No point. All that is left is taqwa. It's all that's left. Are you someone who's pious? Are you someone who's good, pure, kind? Good assumptions about that. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Learn that early on in life, or else life will teach you the hard way that we're all equal. Everyone learns it. Well, even those who continue to be racist learn it. They learn it the hard way though. Learn it now. Don't let those who play with your emotions based on family backgrounds or financial backgrounds or whatever. Don't let them do that. Mockery. We're not supposed to mock one another. Also, so the Israelites, correct? لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم. Don't mock someone. People shouldn't be mocking others. They may be better than them. If you're mocking someone, is it better than you in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You offended someone who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves more than you. Now what's going to happen? Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will probably punish you. So don't do it. You don't know who's better and who's not. So don't mock people. Just don't do it. وَلَا تَلْمِزُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَلَا تَنَابَزُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ. Don't call people names. Don't give them nicknames you don't like. This is what the Quran is teaching. Isn't this respect? It's respect. It's all about having good manners with others. Treating them nicely. Loyalty. Talked about loyalty. Talked about lowering the gaze. We talked about all these things. Hijab, marriage, asking permission when you enter a room, when you leave a group, when you enter a house. Always stand. I've seen it. People don't know how to behave when they go visit others. They knock on the door, they stand right in front of the door. No, you knock on the door, you stand on the right. Stand away a bit. Give the person over the door some space. Maybe they're not properly dressed. Don't stand in front of the door. You knock 3 times. After the 3rd time, they don't open, you leave. Don't bang on the door until someone opens. There's no adab in it, right? This is what the Quran is teaching. Living with people of different religions. And we're talking about that in a moment. I'm going to give you a story today. Inheritance. Surah An-Nisa came and talked about inheritance. I want to make it clear for all the brothers and sisters here. Prior to the ayat of Surah An-Nisa, when he said, يُوصِيكُمُ اللَّهُ فِي أَوْلَادِكُمْ لِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنثَيَيْنِ, that a male will inherit as much as 2 females will inherit. Prior to that, there were no rulings for inheritance and women inherited nothing. They inherited nothing at all. They weren't even a part of the equation. Men just went and took what they could. And the oldest took everything and gave what he wanted to his younger brothers. It was completely dhulm. It was full of oppression. People fought. Wars started because of inheritance problems. Prior to these ayat. Prior to these ayat, it's hard to say this, but I'll say it. Women were inherited as you would inherit things. So the brother would inherit a bunch of stuff and his sisters. He would inherit them. Extremely demeaning and degrading to him. The ayat came and said, no, everyone will inherit a certain amount. Or they are given this amount from their parents when they die, or from their spouses, or from their children when they pass away. And the ayat came, and Arabs didn't like it. Society didn't like it. They didn't like it. Until this day, they don't like it. I come from a rural part of the world. Until this day, people try and play around inheritance. And a brother would go to his sister and say, you don't need the money. Let me have your part of the inheritance. And she's too kind to say no, so she offers it to him. And he denies her from her God-given right to inheritance from her parents. We still, 1,400 years later, we're still doing it. We're very, very careful. Especially brothers, be very careful how you treat your sisters later on in life. The weak and the disabled. The Quran talks about the weak and the disabled. Go to Surah An-Nisa. Surah An-Nisa talks about them. Talks about those who have no one to care for them. Those إلا المستضعفين من الرجال والنساء والولدان لا يستطيعون حيلة ولا يهتدون سبيلا فأولئك عسى الله أن يعفو عنهم وكان الله عفوا غفورا. Talking about those who have no ability to fight for themselves. They don't have a voice. They're weak. They're disabled. They need people to stand by them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant them forgiveness, and it's your job to stand by them. Go to a place that's full with it. It's filled with these verses. These are the lessons that they were taught. It's important because we're at that point as Muslims today in this society where you have to start taking on these rulings. You have to start looking at these ethics and morals. You have to start making decisions. Am I going to adhere to this? Am I going to behave like this? Am I interested in knowing exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants me to do and how He wants me to do it, and I'm going to stick to it or not? Because that's how societies change, and that's how generations make a difference in the world. By holding on to a couple of values that the people before them didn't hold on to very well. Move on, I want to tell you a story today. Stolen shield. It's the story of the stolen shield. Yes, now go back. Yeah. So there's a couple of players in this story that you need to know. Because I'm going to tell a story and you guys know who these people are. So we have, first of all, this is going to be talking about justice and civil rights. The story, this is the purpose of it. It happened also in the same period. Just after Aisha's proof of innocence ayat came, then this story happened almost immediately. So this story, we have a couple of players. So first of all, we have the sons of Ubaydah. Now Ubaydah was a man who had 3 sons. All 3 sons were just rotten sons. They weren't good people. These are guys who were doing drugs. These are guys who were not working, who didn't really learn anything, who just kind of went around causing harm. And people, they were known in the Medina not to be good people. And they stole and they caused a lot of problems. The sons of Ubaydah, and there was nowhere they lived at the time. Another person is called Rifa'a ibn Zayd. Rifa'a is a Muslim. We don't know. I don't know anything about it. I just know that his 3 sons weren't very good people. And then Rifa'a ibn Zayd, this man was an older Muslim. So he's been Muslim for a while now, for a number of years. So he's very close to the Prophet ﷺ, and he was also a very practicing Muslim. And he was giving da'wah for the last year now to his uncle. His uncle is the third guy, Qatada ibn Nu'man. Now Qatada had just accepted Islam new. Right? He just accepted Islam. He's a new Muslim. You're saying, well, weren't everyone in Medina Muslim? No, as I told you many times before, not everyone in Medina was Muslim. In Medina, you had the Muslims, you had the Munafiqeen, you had the Mushrikeen of the Arabs who still lived there. You had the Yahud and you had the Nasara. There were 5 different groups of people living in Medina. Not everyone was a Muslim. And Qatada ibn Nu'man, Rafa''s uncle, was not a Muslim. He accepted lately. Just became a Muslim. And Rafa was so happy that his uncle became a Muslim. He's teaching him about Islam. Qatada's neighbor is a man